Hi, this is Karen E., and this is a reading for April 20th. Felt like doing a more extensive reading today. Just really feeling some big emotions coming up, things that we've probably dealt with for years. And we start with the Queen of Cups, which in this reading I really feel like it's honoring and mastering our emotions. And then wanting to find that security. How do we be our emotional selves, but also find security? Because emotions can feel so vulnerable sometimes. On the other hand, we can't just be a shining star and not admit our vulnerabilities. Those issues have to be addressed. Maybe we put them aside for a while, but it's time to face them, and we are strong enough, and we are getting some nudging. We do have support, and so it doesn't mean we don't have these positive qualities and good things about ourselves, but it's facing those vulnerabilities too, and allowing ourselves to do that, because in order to be, I don't even want to use perfect, but sometimes we think in order to be perfect, we can only feel the good things and be the good things. But no, it's also embracing our vulnerable side, and it's finding a way to blend those two that makes us who we are. After all, we are human, and that's why we are here. And by blending those things, we gain our wisdom. We can use our wisdom. We can call upon wisdom from our guides and angels. Maybe our fear in facing all these is that we're going to sacrifice too much, or it's going to be too painful. We won't be able to get out of that space. But we need not fear. Just take a step at a time. We do have support. And we also may be getting some information quickly that will help us move forward, whether it's support, signs we get from our support on the other side, or from our higher power, or from some earthly support from friends here, because certainly we're not alone. There are other people facing some big things lately too. I think all this time being isolated really forces us to face ourselves, and it doesn't always look pretty, does it? We're facing those scary things too. And maybe we're really feeling that oppression. And yet the story behind this card, they're trapped inside of I think it's inside of a whale, and they cry so hard that they're able to then get out. And so in this case, facing your vulnerability is what's going to set you free. And we're not alone. It might feel so overwhelming because, maybe if you're a sensitive soul like many of us, we're picking up on others' emotions too. And sometimes it feels like we're carrying the weight of the world. Sometimes we are. And crying, it really is such a good release. It's okay, let it go. And then for the outcome, we've got quite a stream of cards here. But the Five of Cups is about looking at the cups that are still faced upward. Okay, there's 3 spilled, but it's not the end of the world. Remember, we don't have to be perfect. We're a balance. We're a balance of joy and pain. We don't have to be all one way or the other, but it's focusing on those upright ones that keep us going, and then on what we learn from those ones that have turned over. That's what gives us our wisdom and our compassion. And then that leads to a new beginning. The Ace of Pentacles. And then I see tradition in this reading as there are those steps that we follow, those things that we do, those anchors we have that we lean upon, structures of some sort. Maybe you make a list of 3 important things to do every day, whether that's meditate, go for a walk, take a few steps on a project you're working on. but that structure will be really important. Tradition can also be the spiritual beliefs that you follow. Those are anchors right now. Allow those anchors to help you through. And of course, we've got the Nine of Swords. Maybe many of us have been having some sleepless nights. We're up worrying about all of these things. A lot is changing. And find a way to express those vulnerabilities. Maybe you write in a journal, listen to some music, but they're just fears. Of course, they always seem worse at night, but the next day does come and the sun does come out. And by facing those fears, you do become stronger. And of course, we have some conflict too. But it's not that big of a deal. There's always conflict. It doesn't have to break us. Just keep moving forward and trust that it too will pass. And don't forget, we do have support. Maybe there's a supportive man in our life right now that who we can really talk to, or someone supporting us on the other side, or even our angels and guides, whoever you can rely on for support. You're certainly not alone. That support is there. They want to be there. Allow them in. And of course, it's facing our darkness, facing our shadow side, that then will allow us to transform. It's not that scary, really. We've had it all this time. It takes so much more energy to try to hide it than it does to just acknowledge it, accept it. Again, no one's perfect. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses and vulnerabilities, but just allow yourself to be human. And it's almost like being a nurturing parent to yourself, and that vulnerable side is like a little kid that's scared. You just need to give that little kid a voice and some nurturing, and hold her hand and let her know you're going to be there. And it's not so scary. And by accepting this part of yourself, embracing it, that's what's going to allow you to transform. So keep that in mind. When you can embrace your vulnerability, then you can embrace your strength too. We can't have the rain without the sun, or the sun without the rain. We have both. So embrace both of those parts of yourself as well, and you will transform, you will grow, you will change. And that's ironically through acceptance and just allowing yourself to be the beautiful person you are. Strengths, faults, and all. Accept your whole self. A lot to think about today. Some big issues. But again, be gentle with yourself, and you will come through on the other side. Take care. Have a great day.